Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are not only going to visit a new country, but a new continent. I am taking you to Europe and we're going to the country of Iceland. Get your notepad and pen ready. I'm going to give you everything that you need to know to visit Reykjavik. Iceland is not part of the European Union. However, they are included in the Schengen area. In 2025, the EU is going to be implementing an entry system. It's called the European Travel Information and Authorization System. It is for travelers who are coming from the visa-exempt countries like the US. They have had some delays. It was supposed to be starting this year, 2024. However, it's been pushed back to 2025. So US travelers, if you're thinking about traveling to Iceland, you still have some time where you don't have to worry about this. In the future, it is going to cost about €8, $7.70 for you to pay the fee. If you are from these visa-exempt countries and you want to travel to Europe, even including Norway, Switzerland, and Iceland, you will have to be paying this fee in 2025. Once you have paid the fee and your application has been authorized, it will be good for 3 years or until the traveler's passport expires, whichever comes first. Iceland is one of the happiest countries in the world. They did a report. I know Finland is number 1, but I think Iceland comes out at number 3. The people are happy there. I also selected Iceland for solo female travelers. I want you to look up the Solo Female Travel Safety Index. This can be found online where they rank countries around the world by the categories: risk of theft, risk of harassment, risks of being scammed, and there is even a category for women's equality. They rate all of these things. Iceland is number 1 across the board. All right. The lower the number, the better. So Iceland is one of the top countries that I would recommend anybody looking to go to Europe for the first time. You are going to be good there. Like, I walked around at night. Yes, I was sliding over the place. The most dangerous thing was just me sliding on the ice, but it was safe. You know, I could talk to people. Some people were coming up talking to me. I guess they assumed I lived there, so they were speaking Icelandic, and I did not have the words to respond back, but they are very friendly. Iceland is definitely up there in Europe as far as safety for solo travelers. Black women travelers, I did not have a problem there. First, you're going to have to go to the airport. That's the Keflavik airport. The Icelandic language is very hard. Some of the words, it's a lot of consonants. They look like they're hard to pronounce. So I'm going to do my best. Icelanders, please correct me with my pronunciation. As soon as you land, even in flight, you're going to be able to see the snow-capped mountains. It is very beautiful. I was able to see the ice on my window. I had a window seat because I just thought it was amazing to fly over that. Some travelers have even noted seeing the northern lights while they were on the way to Reykjavik, which I think is amazing. I was not able to see the northern lights. I went out twice. It was beautiful, clear skies to see the stars, but I was sad not to see the northern lights. Someday I have to return. When I went to Iceland, it was with WOW Air. They are no longer running. We miss you, WOW Air. And it was a low budget airline for you to get to Iceland. I flew there from Baltimore. It was at the time maybe $300 round trip. What a time, what a time. A few airlines that fly to Iceland are Iceland Air, Delta, American Airlines, Norwegian Air, even Air Canada flies to Iceland from US cities. Depending on the time of the year that you go, you're going to want to check the prices. I went in the coldest month of the year and froze my tail off. I was also sliding on ice the entire time. That was the only caveat of me going during the bleak winter. It was very icy. They do have mild summers if you are planning to go during that time. The currency there is the Icelandic krona. If you are at the airport and want to exchange a little bit and then do the rest in the city center, then that is fine too. Don't forget to exchange some local currency. Cards are widely accepted there too. If you want to stay connected, you can purchase a SIM card at the airport directly, or you can get to the city center and get a SIM card there. With the SIM card, your phone is going to need to be unlocked. You can also get an eSIM that is popular nowadays. I've yet to try the eSIM I have T-Mobile. Y'all know how I'm able to get my free data with them. Sometimes travelers, they opt out of this because it's kind of a joy and it feels very freeing not to have to rely on your phone the entire time, while you're traveling. And they just log on to the Wi-Fi, whether it's in the cafe, the restaurant, the city center, wherever you are, except like the remote place. Again, if you want to connect, you can always do that when you get back to your room in the evening. This is going to be your first long haul flight. Might be the farthest that you have flown on a plane. So I have some tips for you. When you are selecting the airline to fly with, if you choose to, you want to select the right seat. Some flyers like to have the aisle. That way they can easily get up without disturbing other passengers. They can walk back and forth, stretch their legs. That's me. I always am going to prefer the aisle. I actually want to go even further. I prefer a row to myself. That way, if I want to hop to the window and see the ice outside, I can do that. I can sit in the middle. I can put up the armrest and try to lay down flat. In February, when I was flying to Iceland, not many people were on the plane. A lot of us had empty rows. Airplane cabins are often dry, so I suggest that you bring a portable water bottle. Fill it up at your departure airport. I might even suggest that you get there early, maybe down one of them. Mine is about a liter. And then when you get on the plane, you can hydrate yourself as the flight goes through. I think the flight to Iceland is from Maryland was about 5 to 6 hours. You can purchase alcohol in flight, but remember that can lead to dehydration. You want to keep an eye on your hydration, and you will deplete that by drinking coffee and alcohol. But again, the choice is yours. Each hour I get swollen ankles. They do have compression socks for this. It's good for you to get up and move around. Some people can sleep very well. As soon as the plane takes off, they're knocked out the entire flight. For me, it takes a while. Usually I'll watch a movie or something. I might get on the plane's Wi-Fi. I might be writing down notes of things I'm doing as soon as I touch down in Iceland. To promote circulation and combat stiffness, I would recommend that you get up. You can walk up and down the aisles. Now, you don't want to do this while the attendants are serving their meals and drinks. You don't want to get in their way. But when the passenger seatbelt sign is off, feel free to get up. You can go to the bathroom. Some people I've seen doing stretches like in the galley, or they have drinks and things that you can just set up and get for yourself. That's the really, really long flights, like 8 hour plus. But if it is the 6 hour one, I think you could just maybe do some simple stretches in your seat. I've seen yoga videos on YouTube for this, yoga travel. You could do it before flight. If you're in flight, you're just doing it, on your seat, a little back stretches, just something to get the body moving. Always dress comfortably. For me, I think airplanes are always cold, and you're going to a very cold region. You can bring a nice chunky scarf or blanket for extra warmth if that helps you go to sleep better, because the cabin temperatures are going to vary. IFE is in-flight entertainment. You can watch whatever airline's IFE. They have books, you can listen to music, you can play games, all of these to keep you entertained during flight. Some of you might have your own special series or shows that you want to finish. I suggest you download those offline. Jet lag is real. You are going all the way to Europe. Some people might want to take sleep aids to help with this, might want to bring an eye mask, bring a neck pillow so you are as comfortable as you can so you can get some shut-eye. Iceland is 6 hours ahead. I'm in Central Time right now. Some people say to beat jet lag, try to stay on Iceland's time. If you are landing in the morning, try not to just go to your hotel and go to sleep. You want to go to sleep at night so your body can adapt to the circadian rhythm of the particular country that you're visiting. Others, they just struggle through it. I have also tried earthing, where you exit the airport and as soon as you touch ground, the cement, you are putting your feet on the ground so you can quickly accumulate to the time zone. I feel like it worked for me in the Middle East, but Europe, the flight was short enough, so I didn't really experience too much jet lag. But you can try that too. When I flew WOW, there was no food on the flight. I know that some of you are flying different airlines. If that is the case, you will have food on board, eat those meals. A lot of them are high in sodium, that's why I say stay hydrated, or you can bring your own food and snacks. They're not going to prevent you from bringing food. Now, liquids, it does have to be bought in duty free. I'm really fine just staying hydrated with my portable water bottle. Some ladies like to stay moisturized with lip balm, hydrating masks, whatever your skincare routine is in flight for you to arrive moisturized. I mentioned compression socks. This purpose is to improve the blood circulation so that your legs and feet don't get swollen. The longer the flight, I mean, 8-10 hours, my ankles are just like, it's really, really bad. It should go away after a few days if you just elevate your feet. To combat this, just wear compression socks. As far as electronics and chargers, you are going to need to have the EU plug, the socket. There are travel adapters that you can look to. I'll put in some examples here. I think I'm going to put them here. Of course, bring power banks and try to make sure that all of your devices are fully charged by landing. That way you're not going to be scrambling for some juice when you're at the airport. You can quickly get out. I've told you before, I am team carry-on. I literally have everything with me on the plane. If you want to freshen up, wash your face, brush your teeth, bring a small bag that has those toiletries in it and keep it with you on the plane if you're checking bags. You need to have something with you in flight for the duration. You can also set your phone to the time zone of the country that you are traveling. As I said, I'm in Central Time currently, so that would be 6 hours ahead, and that can help your body adapt naturally to the time zone. If you are sensitive to noise, you might want to bring noise cancellation headphones, and sometimes the flight attendants will give you earplugs as well. My ears are small. Sometimes they don't fit. Some people have used these without any problem. When traveling to Iceland, you're going to need the Type-C adapter. This is the one that's typically used for the European countries. Make sure that you get one of those. You might want to get multiple, depending on all of the devices that you're bringing. You want to have those organized, all of your cords in a small bag. That way you can easily find them. Also bring a power bank so that your devices can be fully charged when you land. Some planes do offer the USB charging outlet for you, so that would be great, especially if you have a row to yourself. I like to just charge everything I have in an empty row. I have access to 3 of them. It works great for me. To help reset your internal clock, I've talked about a little bit of jet lag. You want to get to the natural daylight as quickly as possible. I also mentioned earthing, where you're putting your bare feet outside as soon as you land. If you could quickly get outside, it's going to be cold in Iceland, but take your socks off, and just having your bare feet have that connection with the ground, I've heard can help with jet lag. Now let's talk about places to stay. Reykjavik has an amount of hostels. The Arctic countries, even the Nordic countries, some of them can be a bit expensive. Iceland is, in my opinion, an expensive country, but there are some hostels that aren't going to break your budget. They are perfect for solo travelers because you get to meet people from all around the world. Sometimes you guys can hang out, go explore the city together, and maybe even go out to dinner. It's really just to have that camaraderie with fellow travelers. A few of the hostels that I've seen are Kex Hostel. This gets an 8.6 fabulous rating on hostelworld.com. They do offer dorms for around $38 a night, and most of these are right in the city center. You want to be in the city center. It's easier for you to move around. There's nothing worse than being in a hostel way out in the boondocks somewhere. These are central to Reykjavik. This one is priced a little higher at $53 a night, but the reviews are very high. There are not too many complaints, and most people are happy or pleasant with their stay there. This is the Reykjavik Loft High Hostel. The Barons Hostel, people are saying that one is fabulous as well. And let me give you a couple more. Bus Hostel is a little further out. It's $42 a night. They also have privates from $119. Most of these hostels that I mentioned also have private rooms. And the last one is Hostel B47, and that's going about $42 US a night. Guest houses are also another budget-friendly choice. They provide a cozy atmosphere, and you're able to interact more with the locals. Look up guest houses in Reykjavik if you're interested in this option. Iceland is known for its majestic and beautiful landscapes. If you are wanting to get a unique experience, maybe try an Airbnb. This is where I stayed when I went to Reykjavik a few years back. It was a small but quaint Airbnb in the city center. You can check out for accommodation, hostels, guest houses, and Airbnbs. When it comes to activities, Iceland has plenty for you to do. In the capital of Reykjavik, you're going to be able to select from a list of things. I did mention the Northern Lights. They offer tours depending on the weather conditions. They do have a Northern Lights tracker where they are able to see, if the guests will be able to see them. You book the tour and then late at night you venture out and hopefully we'll see them. I missed them twice. We all went out there with the binoculars, all the gear, and saw nothing. So sad. No trip to Reykjavik is complete without visiting the beautiful church. It's Hallgrímskirkja. You can, of course, go to the top for a stunning panoramic view. I was able to go inside and listen to the organ. It is stunning, and it is a great backdrop for your pictures. And you can't miss it. You just walk straight and you'll see the church. Right by the sea, you'll see a sculpture known as the Sun Voyager. It's a great atmosphere. For me, it was very icy, of course, it's Iceland, and I did not have on the proper boots. I was sliding all around the Voyager. People were like, are you okay? Are you all right? One time I did fall and hurt my bum a little bit. There was a little bit of bruising, so be careful out there. And you want to have those boots that have a little bit of traction, with the clamps on them. Temperatures are definitely below zero, especially in the winter. You want to dress warmly, have a warm coat, and wear layers. You're going to need thermal underwear. When I was there, I went shopping there. They have much better gloves than if I were going to be in Texas or, some of these warmer southern states. Okay. I had a really great set of gloves that I lost. I think I lost one of them at Pingvelir. I was posing in a picture and then it just disappeared. It vanished. But those were some really good gloves, you guys. If you have room, I just take a backpack, but if I want to take something like a heavy coat home, I could buy it if I wanted to. Another tip is for shopping, go to the thrift stores. I did this in Norway, Sweden, like their thrift stores. You can get really good winter wear. I have to mention the hot springs. From the airport, Keflavik, a lot of people like to go to Blue Lagoon. Recently, in fact, this past month, a volcano erupted and they had to shut down Blue Lagoon because there were earthquakes happening around the Blue Lagoon area. Iceland has over 130 volcanic mountains. It is unexpected when they are going to erupt. They have reopened this month in January. However, it's not all of the Blue Lagoon. The spa is open, the restaurant, but you can go online and see. What is Blue Lagoon, you might be wondering? It is a geothermal spa. The power supply in Iceland consists of 100% renewable energy. 70% is hydropower and 30% is geothermal. And these geothermal springs and pools are lovely. A lot of people go to Blue Lagoon. I'm going to recommend one that I went to. It was called the Lager Spa. For about $25, you have access to all of the pools that range in different temperatures. Some are 100, maybe a little above it. And then you have, of course, you're in the frigid cold temperature. So being able, to change into your bathing suit and then go from pool to pool, it's a really exhilarating experience. At the Lager Spa, they are going to scan your eye. They have a retinal scan there. You can also get the spa package. It's going to be a little more, and you have access to the pools in addition to the massage or whatever treatment that you decide to get. So they do have the freezing pools, and if you want to do the hydrotherapy or you're going out from the cold to the hot, a lot of athletes do this. Feel free. I went in the ice bath one time. I was like, it's not for me. I'm already out in the cold. Let me just stick myself into the warmest ones. The pool culture there is one of a kind. I saw a lot of workers at the end of the day, how we go out to have a drink at a bar, we're at a restaurant for happy hour. Here, the people go to the pools. It's so interesting to see them at the end of a work day, at the end of their work shift, relaxing and chilling in the pools, talking about their day, their week, what's going on at work. And they were friendly enough to engage in conversation with me. You'll see a lot of the women in the saunas. Some of the guys, they were like, yeah, I hope you don't take this back to America. I'm like, we don't even have the resources available for this to happen in America. I think they just think that Americans just steal culture and take it back home. This is something that is really amazing that you should experience in Iceland, and they are all around. I don't think you can miss. If you didn't go to the Blue Lagoon, you can go to Lager Spa. Just Google the geothermal springs pools. There also is a UNESCO World Site in Reykjavik. It's called Pingvelir National Park, the crown jewel of Iceland. It's one of the most popular tourist destinations in Iceland. Here's where you're going to be able to see the tectonic plates. And you can see this as part of the Golden Circle tour. It's about a 40-minute drive from Reykjavik. They'll pick you up from your hotel, or if you were in an Airbnb like I was, they'll just say, meet at this hotel, this designated spot. They'll pick up everybody, and then you guys just head out to the national park. Here there are various hiking trails. I was able to pet the most adorable Icelandic horses. They look like ponies. They are so sweet. They give you food to feed them, and boy, I tell you, they are going to get that food. If they want more, they're going to nudge you in the back. Here you see me moving slightly forward because they were unhappy that I was out and they wanted more. So they were kindly nudging my back. And I was like, wait a minute, I am out of food, guys. Like, y'all gonna have to ease up off me. Being able to see the frozen geysers. I went in one of the coldest parts of the winter, and I mean, it's just magnificent. It's so beautiful out there, seeing all of the different colors of, the frozen water. It's truly amazing. This park is open 24/7. If you want to go separately, if you have a rental car, that is fine as well. I did the Golden Circle day tour. And by the end of the day, I was tired. I wanted to hop in one of those geothermal pools, have some hot tea and chocolate, and then get into the Airbnb where I could get in the bed where it is warm. I was freezing. Do not go. I mean, if you're used to frigid temperatures, then go ahead and do it. But I'm from the South, so I was really struggling in Iceland, you guys. If I go again, it's going to have to be in the summer. Let's recap the activities. You want to see the Hallgrímskirkja church. You could check out the Sun Voyager, take a day tour to see Pingvelir National Park, and you cannot miss the geothermal pools, whichever one you choose, whether it's Blue Lagoon, Lager Spa. All of these are activities that are going to keep you busy on your trip. In the winter, getting around Iceland, I would recommend that you rent a car. You can walk or bike. It's very cold, icy. They do have buses there too. I took the bus around a lot. I believe it was bus number 14 for me to get to the Lager Spa, if I remember correctly. There also is a great bus that they have for you to get to Reykjavik from the airport, because the airport, you're not landing directly in Reykjavik. So check out the bus system that they have. You can go to visiticeland.com for all of the information planning your trip. In this video, I'm only talking about Reykjavik, but there are other cities that you can go to as well. What is the language that they speak there? As I mentioned, locals speak Icelandic. However, they do speak English as well. There are some words and phrases that you can learn to try to blend in. When I was on the buses or just walking around, I would usually just go up to a group of kids, just ask them for help, and it was usually fine. Most speak English there. This is Europe. For food, this is going to be a short section, you guys. I am vegetarian. I did not get to experience all of the food that they have. Again, you can look it up on Google and Happy Cow. I did eat at Domino's. Here's a photo of that there. I didn't even show the food. Here I'm just showing the pizza box. They do have a variety now. Remember, I went a few years back, but it seems they have implemented a few vegetarian restaurants in place. So let's go over those. Low has vegetarian and vegan dishes. The Cuckoo's Nest seems like it would be a pleasant, delightful meal. Happy Cow has a list of them as well. Junkyard, Loving Hut, there's the Vegan World Peace Cafe. These are all places that offer food for those of you who are plant-based. Chickpea sounds good. I mentioned Domino's. There's even a cat cafe that's pretty popular in Tokyo. Well, Reykjavik has their version as well. Katakafahusid. try my best, y'all. Those are the places when you are looking for vegetarian or vegan food. You can always just plug it into your phone, ask the locals, and always look at Happy Cow. When it comes to tipping, you aren't going to have to worry about that in Iceland. They usually are going to have the service charge included in your bill. Be prepared. When you are exchanging your money, you are in an expensive city. Okay, that Icelandic krona is not going to stretch. Some people opt to not eat out as much. They might want to just go to the grocery store, buy some produce, some pasta, whatever, and just cook it back at their place. Hostels usually are going to have a kitchen. The Airbnb where I stayed had a kitchen. That way you can save money. You can cook maybe your own breakfast, and then you can go out for dinner. Otherwise, if you're eating out each meal, it's going to start to add up. Iceland's expensive, y'all. Iceland is known as the land of ice and fire because of its geothermal activity. The nature is going to be dynamic, looking at all the glaciers, the volcano. I was able to see a geyser, and then it was in the winter, so it was just frozen. It was just stunning. The nature is absolutely spectacular. That is why people go to Iceland. In fact, remember Game of Thrones was filmed there? Thanks for joining me on this adventure through Reykjavik. I think with this guide, you are going to be in good hands in the country of Iceland. Iceland welcomes you. I can guarantee that you are going to enjoy yourself thoroughly. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Thank you for the love on my previous video. If you have not seen it, click on it here. Mexico. Let me know in the comments if you have been to Iceland during the winter or the summer, things that you experienced, any other tips that I forgot to mention. Don't forget to subscribe for more travel guides. I'll see you soon.